Some stories are so unbelievable, they have to be true. A giant wooden horse, an entire army hidden inside it, and a city so confident in its victory, it dragged its own destruction through the front gates. But here's the thing. The Trojan horse may not have happened the way you think. In fact, it may not have been a horse at all. Some ancient sources say it was a war machine. Others claim it was a coded message, and a few historians believe it was never real, just a symbol hiding a darker, more terrifying truth. So what really happened that night? Why did Troy fall? And what secret were the ancient Greeks trying to hide? Let's go back to the most legendary siege in human history. For 10 long years, the Greeks hammered the walls of Troy. 10 years of blood, 10 years of loss, 10 years of betrayal, all for one woman, Helen. Said to be the most beautiful woman alive. But here's something they don't tell you. By year 10, the Greeks were losing. Their ships were rotting. Their food was running out. Their warriors were tired, desperate, broken. Even the greatest fighters, Achilles, Ajax, Odysseus, had grown weary of endless battle. And the Trojans? They were holding strong. Their walls, so perfect they looked carved by gods, stood untouched. Not a single Greek soldier had ever breached them. The Greeks faced a brutal truth. They couldn't win by force. They needed something else, something unexpected, something the Trojans would never, ever see coming. But what could break a city that survived a decade of war? The answer would become the most famous trick in history. In the Greek camp, morale collapsed. Leaders argued. Warriors deserted. Everyone knew the war had to end, but no one knew how. Except one man, Odysseus, king of Ithaca. Not the strongest, not the bravest, but easily the most cunning. And one night, according to legend, he stood before the Greek commanders and said something insane. "We're not going to break their walls. We're going to make them open the gates themselves." The room went silent. His plan? Build a giant wooden horse, hide elite soldiers inside it, pretend to sail away, convince the Trojans the war was over. A trick, a lie, a gamble. One mistake, and every man inside that horse would be trapped, burned alive, or executed. But here's the interesting part. Ancient texts suggest the idea didn't come from nowhere. Some historians say the Greeks used siege machines shaped like animals. Others claim the horse was a metaphor, a symbol for an earthquake, since horses were sacred to Poseidon, god of earthquakes. Whether real, symbolic, or something in between, one thing is certain: it changed everything. The Greeks burned their tents, loaded their ships, made it look like the war was over. Then they vanished behind a nearby island, waiting. At dawn, the Trojans walked out and froze. The Greek camp was empty. The beaches were silent. The enemy, gone. And standing in the middle of the sand was the strangest thing they had ever seen. A giant wooden horse, beautiful, massive, mysterious. The Trojans gathered around it, confused, excited. Was it a trophy? An offering? A surrender gift? But not everyone believed it. A Trojan priest, Laocoon, stepped forward and shouted the warning that echoes through history. Sharp, commanding. Beware of Greeks, even when they bring gifts. He hurled a spear at the horse. The wood rang hollow. The crowd gasped. People whispered. Doubt spread. And then, something unbelievable happened. 2 giant serpents rose from the sea, slithered onto land, wrapped themselves around Laocoon and his sons, and crushed them to death. The Trojans panicked. Was this the gods' punishment? A sign the horse should be brought inside? Laocoon's death changed everything. Fear turned to belief. Belief turned to celebration. And that was all it took. The gates of Troy opened. The horse was dragged inside. The Trojans danced. They celebrated. Wine flowed. Music filled the streets. For the first time in years, they felt joy. They thought the war was over. Night fell. Torches dimmed. Families slept. Guards relaxed. But out on the sea, the Greeks were returning. Quiet, invisible, gliding through the darkness like shadows. Inside the horse, the hidden soldiers waited. When the moon reached its peak, they moved. The trapdoor opened. A rope dropped. Greek soldiers climbed out, one by one, blades gleaming in the moonlight. They killed the guards, raced to the gates, and threw them wide open. The Greek army, silent for 10 years, came roaring into the city like a storm. Troy didn't stand a chance. Houses burned, temples collapsed, children screamed, warriors fell. The city that once defied the world collapsed in a single night. All because of one trick, one lie, one legendary horse. But here's the twist. Historians still debate what the horse really was. A literal wooden statue with soldiers inside? A siege tower shaped like an animal? A coded symbol for an earthquake? Or a myth added centuries later? Some evidence suggests Troy was burned, matching the story. Some scholars say Greek deception tactics inspired it. Others believe the horse was actually a ship decorated with horse heads. So, was it real or symbolic? The truth may never be known, but that uncertainty is what makes the story powerful. It blends history with myth, reality with legend. And that's why, even now, we still tell it. This story isn't just about war or trickery. It's about pride, about certainty, about how confidence can blind a kingdom, about how danger often arrives disguised, not as an enemy with a sword, but as a gift with a smile. The Trojans believed they had won. They believed the gods were with them. They believed the war was over. That belief cost them everything. The Trojan horse is more than a legend. It's a warning. So what's the real story behind the Trojan horse? It's not just whether it existed, it's what it represents. A moment where one city's pride met another army's genius. A moment where myth and reality fused. A moment that changed warfare forever. And the question still hangs in the air. Was it brilliant strategy or the greatest lie in ancient history? Because the Greeks didn't just defeat Troy, they rewrote the rules of deception, rules still used today. And speaking of mysteries, in the next video, we dive into another ancient story that refuses to die. The lost city of Atlantis. Did Plato hide the truth in plain sight? If you're ready for secrets, legends, and the hidden side of history, hit follow, hit subscribe, and join me on the next journey, because the past is never truly dead. Sometimes, it's only sleeping.